Itching to head to Disney? The top-notch team of travel advisors at my travel agency, People Mover Travel, are experts in all things Disney. From the parks to Disney Cruise Line, they are your personal travel advisor from the moment your trip is booked until the moment you get home. They can book your hotel, dining reservations, tours, and we continue to monitor special offers to ensure that you're getting the best price for your trip. And it's not just Disney. We have experts that specialize in Europe, cruises, all-inclusive resorts, Alaska, Hawaii, and more. Find out how we can personally help you plan and book your next trip for free. Visit peoplemovertravel.com to get a free, no-obligation quote and find out how we can make your next trip anywhere more magical. People Mover Travel, the official travel agency of the Disneyville podcast. Because your vacation shouldn't feel like a homework assignment. Welcome to the Disneyville podcast, episode 40. We are your hosts, Tyler and Jessica Braun.
We are here talking about everything Disney parks, a little bit of Disney cruise, and all the magic in between.
Love it.
We're trying out like a new little
New
subline
tagline
there, trying to make things very professional here at Disneyville podcast.
Because if you know us, we are very, very professional.
You're nothing if not incredibly
at all times.
Professional.
So we have a couple fun things. So if you have not seen already, the Disneyville merch has officially launched.
Yay!
By this point, it's been out for 2 weeks. So if you haven't done it yet, you better go check it out. You can go to welcometodisneyville.com/shop.
That's right. We'll have those linked, of course, on our Instagram. You can find it anywhere. You can find us. You'll be able to find the link. But
yes,
we're excited because it's kind of our first branded merch we've ever created in that regard. Especially, I mean, it's definitely the first for our podcast here. And it's
very exciting.
We're so excited to see if you guys do purchase any of it. Please take a picture of yourself in the merch if you feel comfortable. Send it to us if you want. We may try to feature some stuff on our social, maybe in a podcast. We'll kind of see. We got to feel that out.
Segment maybe of like you guys wearing your merch and stuff, especially if like you're in a park or something.
I was going to say, bonus points if you're in a park.
Yeah. We have a couple fun like audience interaction things we're talking about doing in the future. So that could be cool. But yeah, if you do get your merch, take some pictures, send it to us. We would love to see it.
I'd love to see it.
This, if you didn't hear, this is like the first round of merch. We do have more coming out in the future because like this round did not feature a mug. I think we might have talked about it. We looked for mugs. We couldn't really find one that we liked.
Yeah, we tested some out and it just did not look quality-wise like what we wanted.
And so that is definitely on the docket for the next launch. We want to do stickers. We want to do more designs, things that actually say Citizen of Disneyville. So
a lot of you guys were like, oh, I really want one that says Citizen of Disneyville.
So be on the lookout.
So cool.
This is just the first round. We wanted to make sure the shop worked. We want to make sure everything worked out well. But now we'll be able to add things in the future as well.
We've hit the ground running.
And even if you don't want to buy something, go check out the Welcome to Disneyville site because I just did a huge redesign on that whole site. So I think it looks really nice. I'm really happy with how it turned out in the end. So
it looks great. You did a lot of work on it.
Took me a couple days to get it all up to date.
Well, and we had some help with some people too, which is great, kind of getting all the back end things lined up correctly. So
but I think it's really nice. So if you have a chance, just go check it out. We've got blog posts there. We've got our episodes there. We've got all kinds of fun stuff. So go check that out.
Okay, enough. All right, enough of all that. I'm just kidding.
Do not talk about Disneyville on the Disneyville podcast. Are you kidding me?
How dare you promote your own podcast on your own podcast?
They're like, we're already listening, dude. Like, you don't have to promote it here. All right, so we're not going to do an up-close mugshot here because we have shown these mugs so many times. We just talked about we have an embarrassing amount of Disney mugs.
We do.
But we need to bring it to the studio here.
How did you know I was going to say that? Again, very, very professional here.
This will be, I swear, we're going to switch out all of our Disney mugs because we haven't done a mugshot in a while because I'm like, we've already talked about these.
Mugs,
so we're going to do a big switch out and then we're going to get back into doing mugshots. And eventually, it'd be cool when we do have Disneyville mugs. We could do a little mugshot of your guys's as well. Your guys's as mugs.
Oh, that's cute. So anyway, mine, you don't need to see a close-up. It's my little princess one. Yep. I woke up like this.
My little Mickey pants. If you're watching the video version here, you can see it. Anyway, you've seen those many, many times. So,
all right.
Now, into today's
down to business,
topic.
Okay? Why you guys are here.
Very important stuff. You know what's funny, though? I don't listen to very many podcasts. I usually listen to audiobooks if I'm listening to like spoken word things in the car.
You don't listen to spoken word poetry?
Not unless it's Tuesday. But what I feel like is when I do listen to podcasts, they will talk for 20 minutes before they get into the topic of the episode. And you and I are always so concerned with getting to the meat of the episode. We always apologize. Like,
so sorry, everyone.
Like we can just talk for a few minets. What's up?
Yeah. Hey.
How you doing?
I really like your shirt. We should be doing shirt shows.
Ooh.
Mug shots and shirt shots.
What's funny?
Shots.
What's funny is I actually have a shirt that looks very, very similar to that. And I kept going back and forth. So Jessica's is like a 1980s Epcot. Like it's fantastic.
Vibe.
Yeah. If you're watching the video version, you can see it. And then mine just says the land.
And it's, I think, the original logo. I mean,
But
listen, most of the shirts he owns, I picked out for him on Etsy.
True.
Okay. Or from small shops,
Yeah. Usually what happens is
I want to buy something. So I'm like, well, I better buy him.
Well,
no, you're easy to shop for.
Well, but usually you'll go through and you'll find a bunch that you like, and then you'll kind of pick out the 4 or 5 you like, and then you'll have like 10 or 20 left over, and you're like, hey, pick out 1 or 2 of these
I
from
do not
my
buy myself
leftover
4 or
pile.
5 at a time, okay?
Sorry, from your leftover pile.
My leftovers. Yeah, because a lot of them, either one of us would wear. I would totally rock that
100%.
shirt. You would totally rock this one. And there have been times that we have taken each other's clothes. So
This is true.
in regards to Disney tees. Okay.
All right.
So
That's
today's
enough of that.
it's enough.
No more banter.
So we are talking Disney parks, of course. What?
Today we're going to change
I'm sorry.
pace
I
and
just
talk
heard
about
a
Disney.
seagull outside, and we live in the Midwest, and it is March. What? Did you hear that?
I'm pretty
Maybe
sure
it was a goose.
I'm pretty sure that was that lady walking by. I don't.
Anyway, okay, guys, be professional. Today we are talking about Epcot, one of our favorite places in the world, and we're going to talk about the top 5 rides. I genuinely forgot what we were talking about for a second. Did you notice? Okay.
So we kept going back and forth on exactly how we wanted to frame this, and then we were like, all right, we're going to go simple.
Yeah.
I don't know though that I have ever done anything harder than what I had to do today. I have not had a very hard life. So ranking my top 5 favorite rides in Epcot, that was tough. Now, normally I would cheat and have a couple honorable mentions. I didn't do that this time. I stuck to 5. Did you stick to 5?
I did. And you know what? The 2 that would have been honorable mentions, we'll talk about.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, I
tough.
stuck to 5, and I stand by my ranking. But there was a lot of shuffling there for a while, and then I'm like, you know what? Yes. This is right.
I kept going back and forth. 2, 3, and 4 flip-flopped
that's
like
it.
6 or 7 times.
5, I pretty much kept the same, and 1, I knew instantly.
Yeah.
I am so curious. So we're going to get into your guys' top 5, but if you did not submit via our Instagram, which is at Disneyville Podcast, take a minute. If you're listening, watching, whatever, pause. Think through what your top 5 ranking is, and then see how it compares to ours. Because that's half the fun, I feel like.
It is. And you can comment on the YouTube video. You can also comment on all of the blogs and all of the episode pages on the Welcome to Disneyville site. So if you...
Yeah, we didn't used to have that capability. Now we do.
Now you can comment on that site. So it'd be so cool. Again, like especially when we're doing something like where we have tips and so many people have so many good ideas.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
This is a better place now where you can submit it here. We'll try and read as many as we can. But if you miss it or we didn't get to it, you can always go to there and it'll be great to have those comments
under
there.
the blog posts. Yeah. Under the episode pages.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to rank them 5 to 1, right? 5 being the worst. LOL.
I'm going to go 5,
you know what I mean?
2, 4, 3, 1.
And just guess the ranking.
All right, you go ahead.
First of all, let's preface with there are 11 actual rides at Epcot. So here's the list. So if you're going to try to rank them, let me just give you the list. All right.
Get out your pens and paper.
All right. Figment, Spaceship Earth, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mission Space, Test Track, Soarin', Living with the Land, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, Gran Fiesta Tour with, of course, the 3 Caballeros, Frozen Ever After, and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. So those are the 11. Because I love it. Okay. Soarin'.
I feel like I was supposed to get something out of that.
No, there was nothing to get. Just I love it. I was saying it with love.
Right. Ooh,
so another preface. I had to put my own nostalgia to the side. I was trying to be really, it was still my opinion on, but I was trying to be really good about like, yes, I love this ride for this or that reason, nostalgia wise. But if my sister were asking, what are the rides I have to ride? What are the top 5? this is genuinely what I would tell her.
Okay.
Putting my own like Epcot-y nostalgia Disney history.
Now, see, I did not do that.
Well, then this is going to be interesting.
We might have slightly different lists then, because I just listed my top 5 favorite, like personal favorites. If it was somebody going, I don't know, it wouldn't change all that much. It would change a little bit. But yeah, I would maybe tell them the
These
backstory.
are still my top 5 favorites, but we'll talk kind of, you know, some of you get it. You get what I'm laying down.
All right. Your number 5.
Okay. My number 5 is Spaceship Earth. Now, this is where I did not put nostalgia to the side, because I think even if you've never been to Epcot and you know nothing about Disney history, Epcot history, whatever, it is such a cool ride even still. First of all, when you go to a park and that is the weenie, the thing you see, and you find out there's a ride in it, you're not riding that ride.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And I love that it's a longer ride, so you can get out of the hot air for a while. You can rest your legs for a while.
Yeah.
But also, it's just kind of cool. Like, even little kids are mesmerized by the weird animatronics. And you know what I mean? It's one of those very mesmerizing rides, very calm rides.
Yeah.
But also, I just absolutely love it. And there is, of course, the nostalgia factor of we've ridden it ever since we started going. So I just love it for that reason.
I don't know what the ride duration is, but it's long. It's probably 15 minutes. And I mean, the fact that like our 2-year-old loves that ride.
Yeah.
Like
she'll sit through it.
It's so entertaining for adults. Like you, as you grow, you get more and more out of it. I feel like as our kids grow up, they're going to start to understand more of the timeline and stuff like that. No, I agree.
Add the smells into like Rome burns and all that. Oh my gosh.
Well, and they've been talking for years about updating it. Supposedly it's happening soon, so I'll be very curious.
Them to, but also every time they update something, it's always great.
When you and I first started going, wasn't it? It was the Jeremy Irons version, right? And then it was Judi Dench. But who was before?
I only remember the Judi Dench version, so it may have been just in the back of my memory, and I just don't remember Jeremy Irons doing it.
There was another one. I'm trying to think who was before that. There's been a couple, but I'd be curious who they get this time. Who would be a good host this time?
I feel like we had someone in Julie Andrews.
Julie Anderson.
But then you might as well have Judi Dench. Tom Hanks? No, that'd be weird.
I think Tom Hanks would be good.
It would feel different though. Tom Hanks just narrated an audiobook I listened to, and it was great in that regard.
Right.
It would just be a very different vibe. I'd be thinking of Woody the whole time. He can't do it. He can't do it.
He's got too many. Yeah.
All the kids would be like,
Disney
"Why is Woody narrating this?"
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I feel like there's got to be so many good ones, and I can't think of any off the top of my head. Patrick Warburton he'd be too funny, but
I'd be very confused. Am I on Soren or am I on?
Morgan Freeman would be good.
Yeah, oh yeah. What is your number 5?
All right, my number 5. I think you're going to be surprised by this.
I can't wait.
Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
I was
do you
want to
spit out your coffee?
Yeah. I was going to do a spit. No. Okay.
And looking at everything that I did not include. This was a tough one, but I had reasons that I didn't include the other ones. I think this is still it is a very good ride. It sort of falls into the category of, like you said, if your sister's going for the first time, never been there, this is one I would tell somebody to ride.
Yeah.
I think they would enjoy it. It's fun. It's exciting. I think it's obviously a newer addition to the park, but I think it's a really, really good one. I personally also have the little bit of nostalgia from our honeymoon in Disneyland Paris.
Because they had this in France, yeah.
But I just think that I think it's a really good ride, whether you have Epcot nostalgia or not.
Oh, yeah, because I don't view that as a nostalgic ride.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You don't need that Epcot nostalgia.
Oh, no, yeah.
Because there are certain things.
It's just a great ride in 2025.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like updated.
I don't want to give anything away, but there are certain rides that if you don't have that nostalgia, and they'd be like, why did you tell me to go do this ride? Like, so that's my number 5.
Well,
what is your number?
My number 4 is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Okay, so I
this
thought
one
you wouldn't
kept
have
getting
it on your
bumped
list.
back. You didn't think I'd have it on there at all?
I didn't think you would, and I don't know why. But
it's too cool and unique to not, I think. For the same reason of if someone were asking, I'd be like, you have to ride it. Because it's not like any other ride, really. It's kind of a dark ride, but it's like what, magnets, right? Or no, computer, I'm sure.
I think it's computerized, yeah.
And it's like you're on your own in your little thing, and then there's also the 3D element, but you're moving into other rooms, and there's scent, and there's sound, and there's feeling. Like, it really is cool.
Yeah. Not to mention that Ratatouille, I think, is my favorite movie.
Yeah,
my favorite Disney movie.
Sprinkle that onto it. I'm dying for them to open a Gusteau's actual restaurant. If they don't change Monsieur Paul's, which we loved Monsieur Paul when we went years and years ago, and it's open again.
Yeah.
It's one of the last ones to reopen, I
But
think.
I think,
but I'm like,
I don't
that
think it's
would be
big
a
enough.
great
I think
maybe
people,
make Chefs de France or combine them.
they would have to combine them, I think, and make the whole thing.
It would
maybe.
you would not be able to get a reservation.
They've done so much updating in Epcot. They're like, guys, okay, we're gonna take a
beat. You're probably right, but man, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It's right there.
it's right there.
Why would they do the crepes place and not Gusto's back? They already had
I think
two
they
restaurants.
needed a
though.
quick service. That's what I think it kind of boiled
Yeah.
down to.
And it is good. I mean, I
Yeah,
like
and the walk-up window's great. That having
both options.
Yeah, everything we've ever had there has been really good too. So, all right. So my number 4, and this one I think I'm going to get some flack for.
Okay.
My number 4 is Spaceship Earth. For the same reasons that you were mentioning.
Okay.
But I think a lot of people, I'll be curious, I think a lot of people are going to have that ranked higher. Just because.
Well, mine was 5.
I know for you.
Okay.
I'm talking about from them. I'm going to get my hate
Them,
mail.
These people.
Because I feel like a lot of people are going to comment that should be higher just because it's the Epcot ride.
Like it is.
Like top rides in Epcot now as far as
I mean,
like
you say, I'm
thrills,
going to
as
go
far
ride
as
the
it-
Epcot ball. Like
That's it.
you
And
know.
I think so many people, even still, if it's their first trip, don't even realize there is a ride inside. Like, think about how exciting that is.
Or maybe they think it's more thrilling than it actually
Well, maybe. But I think a lot of people will have that ranked higher. I'll be curious. I have not looked at any comments
I
yet.
glanced at a few after I ranked mine, and I have some thoughts, okay,
Yeah.
on some of your guys' picks.
Okay.
So we're going to get to that.
Okay. So anyway,
it's going to get heated.
all
in
the
here.
same reasons that we talked about. But I love that ride. But I definitely think if you're going, you have to ride it.
Yeah, I think 4 is good.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't have it on their list at all.
I'll be curious.
I know, and we both had it on ours. Okay. Number 3 for me, Frozen Ever After. I love that freaking ride. I love it. I don't like waiting in the line. I'll tell you. Like, I honestly, at this point, we've ridden it enough that we just won't wait in the line. Like, if it's crazy, if it's an hour, we're just not doing it that day. Sorry, kids.
Yeah.
But, man, I love it. I will say a lot of people ask, okay, if you're getting a lightning lane for Remy or Frozen, which do you do? I'm like, Frozen.
Yeah.
And that was how I kind of decided which to put. I was like, it's got to be Frozen because it's just to me more fun because they're both rides, but one is like actually a ride. It's on a track and you're going down little hills and there's kind of water involved, and it is so spectacular. However, have you guys seen videos of the Frozen ride in, I want to say Japan? It might be one of the parks in China. I'm not sure. I saw it like quickly recently and then I just haven't dug into it. Where it's a similar ride, Frozen, but the animatronics are so much cooler.
Yeah.
Like, it's like instead of just the face, like being, however they did it, projected or whatever onto it, it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, they got the way better version. But anyway,
someday.
Frozen Ever After. It's thrilling. It's got it all.
It is.
I get the goosebumps every time it gets to the Let It Go part. And listen, we are so tired of that freaking song. But I still, when it gets to that part, I am so goosebumpy.
Just this morning on the way to taking Felicity to school. Well, first time in forever. I'm like,
First time in forever.
I've heard that song so many. I'm like, how many billions
her,
of times?
she hasn't.
No, I know. Billions of times the song is played in our own car, let alone the rest of the world.
Oh my gosh. So what's your number 3?
All right. Living with the Land. This is it. This was tough. Again, these rankings were, I think picking my top 5 was relatively easy. Ranking them within the top 5 was almost harder. I love Living with the Land. It is one of my, literally,
Exhibit
I'm wearing
A,
the land
shirt,
shirt right now. Because it is, I'm a gardener at heart, but I just love so much. We have got to do the behind the scenes tour.
Yes.
But ever since we first started going, it's one of those just happy memories to me. It was one of those things that every time we went, I feel like we always went to Epcot on our first day. It was either Epcot or Disney Springs. I don't know why. But that was like one of the first rides we would ride. And so like you're just so excited to be there. And just the smell. And you're going through and you learn stuff. And then the garage door opens and the lights are there. And it's bright outside. And it just makes me so happy.
It's such a good vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's very calming. The girls,
still have the
girls
nostalgia.
generally, I remember being really nervous. Like, if they cry or freak out on this, you're kind of trapped in it. It's kind of a long ride, you know? But they always do really well. I think there's enough to look at and you're moving and there's, you know what I mean? That it also, I will say, what is your favorite part of that ride? Because I definitely have a favorite part.
I always loved, and I always wanted to get one for myself, and maybe someday, the hydroponics part where they have the fish swimming in the bottom, and then they fertilize the plants above. I'm assuming that's not your favorite part.
No, but it is not. Well, there's a couple things. Like, it's fun to find hidden Mickeys. That's definitely our oldest favorite thing to do, especially in the greenhouse area. My favorite part is when you're going in and it's like the rooster on the mailbox with the little farmhouse. Yeah. But you can see the restaurant garden grill above and you hear the sounds from here. I just love that. Yeah. I could sit in that room forever. Also, I love that pretty sure they haven't updated those videos since 1989. Oh. I mean, because they're talking about modern technology allows us to fertilize using ladybugs. And I'm like, have we updated it all since then? Are we still have we learned anything in the last 30 years? No, we still, no, that's where we are. But yeah, I just love it. And it's good. It makes me so happy. I did not rank that one in my 5, but I knew you would. And it is a great ride, but it's not. You got the McDonald's flooring in the queue. That is good. That's good stuff. Everything about it. Yeah. All right. The restaurant up in the thing. You got that's cool. All the different landscapes. I just love all the landscapes. All the well manicured sand. You got the herbs spinning. Some of them are going for a ride on the track. I mean, come on, the little plants are so happy going around a little roller coaster. Those plants do seem like there are some happy Disney plants in there. Like, are you going to pick me today? Okay, number 2, Soarin'. Same. I bet our top 2 are the same. I have a strong suspicion. I mean, let's just talk Soarin'. Okay. That is one of the only rides, I'm just now realizing, that is maybe the only ride, other than our number 1 we're about to name, that you and I will intentionally stop, trade off watching our youngest to go ride with our oldest. Yep. And we never miss it because it's so awesome. Like literally. Yeah. It's so beautiful. Well, and I always loved Soarin' over California, but I love the new one so much more because seeing all these different areas of the world, they really are. They're both so good. But just being able to see all these amazing places from all over the world, obviously travel's my favorite thing in the whole world. The Great Wall of China, that has like inspired me to want to go, and it's so beautiful. And like, it's one of those rides that I know I've said this before, but if you are taking somebody who's not even a Disney fan, they will love that. They will love Soarin'. They don't need to know the IP. They don't need to have seen the movie. There's nothing other than going on that ride and you're being literally whisked away. People are blown away by that ride, whether they like Disney or not. I know. My mom taking her on that is one of my greatest memories of my life because she was, anytime something would look like it's going to hit you, we've ridden it enough. My mother on that ride was spectacular. She was a spectacle all on her own. It was so cute. She's like, oh my. That's funny. Like, oh my God. I remember taking my dad on that ride for the first time. No, he wasn't, but it's just the end. Like he was like, that was awesome. Which is high praise from my dad. Yes. I remember he was just like blown away by it. It's so good. Everyone loves it. Our 6-year-old blown away. And she wasn't too scared of it. That was another concern. Like she just loved it. So, and it's such a unique ride vehicle. I love that was it an old documentary where the guy had his erector set and showed how he was like home on Christmas vacation and he figured this out, like toy, and so he figured out how they were going to make the things rise up. But I'm like, no other place does this, or if they do, it's because of Soarin'. I feel like nowadays, like the Flight of the Banshee, I always forget. Flight of Passage. Flight of Passage. Oh, so good. Is so good. I feel like had we not had Soarin', we wouldn't have that. Soarin' walked that Flight of Passage could fly. I like that. That's a ridiculous sentence, though, if you think about what we're saying. But yeah. All right. Well, what's number 1? Guardians of the Galaxy. Cosmic Rewind. What's your favorite song? Because there's like 6 or 7 songs, and you don't know what you're going to get. We've gotten a lot of them at this point. I Ran was good. That, I think, is my favorite. That might be the best. I ran. We're too good. I don't want them to give us a copyright strike if we sing too much. I really liked These Boots Are Made for Walking. Oh, that was a good one. Mm-hmm. You don't like September, but you just don't like that song. No, the song's okay. But for that, I'm like, I need more pizzazz, more zip, more pep. Do that conga. That's a good one. I don't. Yes, but I don't. When I get it, I'm like, okay. I think it's probably my 3rd favorite. I wouldn't. But yeah, that's a good one. They need to do a little. What's the really slow one though that they do? And I'm like, boo! Anytime I've got, I'm like, what are you talking about? Why is this even on the? When you have to wait so long for it or pay so much for it, that really makes or breaks it. How does Everybody Wants to Rule the World go? I just heard that song. Have they added more? Oh my gosh, hold on! Don't sing. I literally just heard that song. Like last night. Oh, it's One Way or Another. Not These Boots Are Waiting for One Way or Another. That one's really fun.
oh my gosh, how does that song go? That is going to drive me crazy. What was I just watching? Was it Modern Family I was watching last night and they were singing that song?
They were, okay. Hold on.
No, what? No, it wasn't that. It was something else. Oh, it was the end of Despicable Me 4. That's what it was. Everybody wants to rule the world.
No. Everybody Wants to Rule the World is my least favorite one. It's a great song. It's not for that. I think that's what I got last time.
I don't think I've had that one yet.
Because you want it to be like, you know?
A little oomph.
Yeah.
Pizzazz.
Anyway, I know some people are going to hardcore disagree with me. But that's
Yeah,
just
I think they could use a refresh on those songs, though.
a refresh to other 80s songs, of course.
Of course.
So, yeah, Guardians, by the way, I think we've just grinned and paid for the individual lightning lane every time because the line is still so crazy. So unless you just plan it just perfectly.
Now they're adding in the standby liner, right? Or they're changing it somehow, right?
I don't remember. We need to, but my point is it's worth it. It's worth it. It's so good. That is truly, maybe it might be the best ride in Disney parks.
Oh, I think it is.
I was going to say Flight of Passage would be close, but it's just so different. Guardians of the Galaxy, I like it better than Tron. I like it. So I think that's the best ride on Disney property.
It is just, you just feel like you're floating. You feel like, and it just, the giant screens where you just feel like everything about it is so good. It's unexpected, and like going around the Earth at the end, like you just feel like you're floating through space. They did
freaking
such
flying,
a good job.
you guys. You are flying.
And I always think about like you look at Space Mountain. And you're like, this is the upgraded
Space
version
Mountain
of that,
walked so that Guardians could run.
You got it
or
up before
fly.
I could. I was trying to make
Wait, is it run or fly? Whatever.
I don't know. That's exactly what I was trying to say. It's amazing. It's so good.
So if you were considering like, is it worth paying for the individual lightning lane for Guardians? I would say with a 100% certainty, yes, it is.
There's a lot of rides that maybe are not. This one is.
This one is, yeah.
Okay, so let's really quickly go through the ones that we did not include. So Journey into Imagination was a tough one for me to cut out.
I have a little Figment doll up on my shelves in my office. Like again, but it's that nostalgic piece that I'm like some random, like a person I'm giving advice to.
Exactly.
They'll be like, yeah, that was okay.
But if it's...
I don't trust her opinion anymore.
But if you also... If it's a 5-minute wait, which most of the time it is, do it.
Do it, yeah.
But also, especially, I think that's more for the parents now because I feel like the parents get more out of it in some ways just because like if you have young kids, you probably grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, like it almost has like a nostalgic feel, whether you know Figment or not.
It kind of gives
because
that
it
like
makes you think of like
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or like that vibe too, like that late 80s.
Yeah.
That
I think you would feel nostalgic even if you didn't really know any of the backstory, just because
there's a word for that where it's it almost is like a thing you can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but we all know like what is that?
Je ne sais quoi.
No.
Okay. Mission Space I like, but I wouldn't put it on my list.
No.
I feel like it's a very thrilling ride, and especially when we first started going, I really liked it. I did it recently, and it was cool. I don't know.
I just always feel so sick, even after the tame one. I'm like, it's not worth it. So I haven't ridden it in years because I'm like, I don't like it enough to make it worth feeling crummy for the next hour.
Yeah. Well, especially ever since you had kids. Now you have
I just have really bad motion. But then I can be okay on things like Remy. But that one in particular, even the tame one, I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
So yeah, that wasn't even in the running at all.
Test Track. I think if it had been the old school one, it would have been much more likely to get on the list when you actually look like a crash test dummy. Now that it kind of went to the new one, I've never really liked the new one. We never really rode it because...
We've ridden it. I mean, certainly we've ridden it a couple times, but it's been a while.
I feel like so often, like, I don't know, I just didn't like the computer simulation. I felt like it sort of cheapened the whole ride. Where I'm like, when you felt like you were in a car and you were a crash test dummy, it just made sense. Maybe I'm not smart enough to get it. But I never really liked the new version because I'm like...
we both felt that way, and I can't pinpoint what it is. As I scanned through, a lot of people had Test Track.
Well, see, again, if I can get past the fact that you're in an eSIM card, whatever you're supposed to be in a computer, the ride itself is still thrilling. It's the same track, same exact thing of what it used to be. Mm-hmm. And obviously, it's so fun riding around the outside.
Especially, that is
I mean, come on. But I am really, really excited for this new version because it sounds like from the rumors I've heard, which I never trust any rumors, but from what I've heard, it's going to be much more of a mix between the original and the new. So they're kind of going back a little bit to include some of that. So I'll be very curious how it all turns out.
I can't wait.
I really hope
I'm going to be open-minded because I want to, it really is fun.
The track itself is so good. I just miss being a dummy. Okay.
Earlier, you said on the old one, you look like a crash test dummy. And I don't know why that made me laugh, but it did. To make you look like one.
Seas with Nemo and Friends. Great ride. Nothing against it.
We pretty much never skip it. Same with Figment for the same reason of it's usually a 5 to 10 minute wait, depending on the time of day. Yeah. The girls love it. And you're ending up, I love that you end up in the seas. So then there's all kinds of stuff to do in there. So that is a fave, especially like on a rainy day. That's a great one to just go to because you can ride the ride and then spend a lot of time just in there doing stuff.
If you know there's going to be a 45-minute rain shower, boom.
Pop in there, you got the next hour planned. Because they also have Turtle Talk with Crush in there too.
Yeah. Gran Fiesta Tour starring the 3 Caballeros.
Same thing.
So great. Love
Nostalgic, not thrilling at all. Again, never a wait. But that and Figment were really hard for me to not have on my top 5 list.
Yeah.
But again, I would just give anyone the advice of ride these if they're under 10 minutes because they're fun and Disney-y and weird.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be like something you need to run to.
Right. So then the only 2 that you and I differed on having in the top 5 list, I didn't have Frozen Ever After in my list.
Oh, you didn't?
No, because I love Frozen Ever After. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but it's a great ride. But I'm like,
can't believe you didn't have it on there at all.
I was like, I can't. All of these other ones on here, I'm like, I can't cut out Guardians. I can't cut out Soarin'. Can't cut out Living with the Land.
But you kept Remy on. But so you would recommend if someone's picking?
I like Remy more than Frozen. Wow. But that's a me thing. I mean,
yeah, of course.
Again, it depends on your family. Depends, if you. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people would rather do Frozen, but those are very similar to me. They're in the same category, if you will, where they're fun rides, they're thrilling-ish, but they're not like thrill rides. But like those, I would say, are in the same thrill category.
Moderate.
Yeah, moderate category.
Gosh, I didn't even realize you didn't even have Frozen.
Yeah, well, you didn't have Living with the Land. That's where we differed.
Yeah, big time.
But think about that. 4 out of 5, we had the same.
But there you go.
Those are the only 2.
No wonder we always end up doing the same things at Disney because we like the same things.
All right, so shall we get to some listener feedback?
Let's hear. So we asked you guys on our Instagram, which is Disneyville Podcast, what your top 5 rides in Epcot are. So we're going to dive into those. There are a lot. So we'll see what we can get through, but we always appreciate you guys sending in your responses. They're so fun. Do you want me to start at the bottom? You start at the top? Okay. Sure. Fighting for a Cure said, okay, number 5, Frozen. I'm reading it backwards, Number 5, Frozen. 4, Spaceship Earth. 3, Soarin'. 2, Living with the Land. Number 2. Yep. And then 1, Guardians of the Galaxy. Walker Emily T said Guardians, hands down, no contest. I'm assuming for her number 1.
Yeah.
That's it. That was the easiest decision.
I think pretty much I've just starting to look through these, but I think everyone said Guardians is by far the best. All right. So Brianna Woodbine said, it's hard to go backwards. I love Remy's, but I prefer Frozen, Living with the Land, Soarin', Test Track, Frozen, Guardians. Ooh, that's hard to go backwards because I'm reading it in order. I know. Yeah. And then...
So she had Guardians as number 1.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Should I go 1 to 5?
You just read it however.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to confuse myself. I'm just going to read them how they're written from now on.
You look like a crash test dummy.
And you act like one, too. Okay, so Scro Jones said Guardians of the Galaxy, Remy, Frozen, Spaceship Earth, The History, and that it's in the huge ball, Figment, Baby Memories.
Oh,
love that.
Okay, Planner Forever said Frozen, Test Track, Finding Nemo.
Oh, wow.
I know. Figment, I get it. And then Living with the Land.
Yeah.
A couple of people are mentioning the Moana walkthrough, like honorable mention status.
I would say that's an attraction.
I agree.
A ride.
However, I do love the Moana walkthrough area, so we've done it, I totally get the honorable mention.
I think every time we've gone, we've done it twice, like per trip. It is so good.
And again, it's something totally different.
Yep.
Whether you have kids or not, it's just something different to do.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of times in Disney, it tends to be kind of hot. So having these options to cool down. Cassandra Grass, I thought I said Cass and Grass. Cassandra Grass said Guardians, yes, Soarin', Living with the Rand, Ratatouille, and Frozen.
Living with the Rand.
Did I say
like living with Randy. Like it.
Amy Rounding 46 said, a surprise for us, the play area after you get off Mission Space. Playground. Hidden little gem there.
Yes.
Again, if you have young kids, great place to cool off or to get out of the rain for a little bit.
Yeah, and you go in through the exit. You don't have to like go through the line or anything crazy. You just go in through the Mission Space exit. That is such a great hidden gem.
Yep.
We have got to work on our kids' episode.
Yes,
soon.
yes. Abby Dosel22 said, Spaceship Earth for the burning Rome smell, obviously.
Oh, it's so good. J.E. Dixon said, I will die on the hill for Grand Fiesta Tour. It does not get the hype it deserves. I love that. And I know we've talked about it in the past, but I would be so curious if they ever, again, eventually, I think they're like pausing on any Epcot updates for now.
Yeah.
But if they ever did do like a Coco overlay or whatever, I feel like it would be really good and they would do it right. But I would be like, oh my gosh, I miss the old weird fake Mylar balloon things.
You wonder if they would have to like completely redesign it though, because if it was Coco, they would not fit the queue in the building. They would have to move the queue outside.
And maybe they can just never do it. That queue is for like 40 people. That's it. Do they just shut down the line if it's too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe it just gets so long, people are like, I'm not waiting in that line for that.
All right. Christina Germany said, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratatouille, Living with the Land. And then she's honorable mention for Club Cool and Skyliner. But then also Guardians of the Galaxy, it's what Space Mountain should be. I think that's exactly it. It's what Space Mountain wanted to be, and they didn't have the technology back then, and now they do.
Again, Spaceship Mountain.
Spaceship Mountain.
Spaceship
Mountain.
So that Guardians could run. Oh, Amanda Golden 22 said the only right answer is Frozen.
Wow.
It is so good. And also, if you are a fan of the ride before it was Frozen, which was Maelstrom, very like Norwegian story, of their history and stuff. It's fun to think about where in that ride you are during certain parts of the Frozen. It was reworked a bit, but a lot of it is the same. So,
well, it's funny that you say that because I was about to read this one. Ivy League Foodie said Maelstrom is the only real answer.
Oh man, I would just love to be able to like do an A track and a B track and get to ride Maelstrom when you want.
Right? I know.
I would say that's true for anything.
Becca Haas 17, I think maybe, said Guardians is number one. Remy and Soren. The others are fun but don't matter. I'm there for the snacks.
But don't matter. I know. That's the beautiful thing about Epcot. It's funny that this is the first park we're doing with top 5 rides. Like we'll obviously eventually cover the other parks. And first of all, I was kind of surprised. I'm like, well, Epcot doesn't have that many rides. And then when I was actually looking, I'm like, gosh, it has 11 rides. I'm like, it actually does have a lot. But when I'm thinking about Epcot, I'm really not thinking about the rides. I'm obviously thinking about the countries and the snacks and the food. So it's just kind of wild that I'm like, gosh, it really does have a lot. And there's so many shows, too.
But it also has so many new rides. Like, as far as, like, all the parks go, well, no, maybe not. But there's so many new rides between Remy and Frozen and Guardians. I mean, those 3 have shown up within the last, 6 years?
Yeah.
Maybe not even that long. Like, maybe, well, no, Frozen was probably 2016,
but even still, it still feels new to me, you know? Okay. Angle Cocktails said, number 1, Cosmic Rewind, obviously. Number 2, Mission Space Orange. There's nothing like this anywhere. Mm-hmm. Number 3, Remy's Adventure. The trackless rides are so cool. And they really are so cool. Number 4, Living with the Land. The smell alone makes you so excited to be at Disney.
Yep.
And then number 5, this is your person, okay? Number 5, Test Track, but when it was the old Crash Dummy version.
Boom.
Yes.
Boom. Yes.
Oh man, it'd be fun to create. I know we did our like creating your perfect park game, which if you haven't seen that episode or listened to it, definitely check it out. It was, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 episodes back. But wouldn't it be fun to create your own park, but you can create it with defunct rides, extinct rides?
Yeah.
Just fill your own little park.
We kind of did because we did ranking defunct.
Oh, that's right.
rides.
So there we go. I basically created my own. Check that one out too.
I just want them all. Whatever. Hey guys, when you're done with them, just give them to me. I'll take them.
I'll take them. I'll put them in the yard.
Speaking of kind of what you just said a second ago, are there more than Lee 2x3 said? Are there more than 5 rides in Epcot? Like you said.
I know, right?
And they said Remy's as number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy, Soarin', Frozen, and 3 Caballeros.
Hey, I can't say anything about any of those. Brianna Hager said, Guardians is the best ride, truly, of all time. Agreed. Although I had to sprint to my beer garden resi after riding in 100-degree heat, but that's neither here nor there. Also, the beer garden is so fun. Oh my gosh.
Amy Lynn Buttchin said, Figment,
Hey.
Figment, Living with the Land, Figment.
Correct. That is correct.
That's so funny.
Our good friend also said, LOL, are there more than 5? That's it.
Simply Nolani said, shout out to Three Caballeros. Objectively, not top 5, but it's so cute and the line's never long.
That's it.
This might go down in history as the most comments we've ever gotten.
I know. And it's only been a couple of hours. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Amanda Dinger, 27, said, living with the land will always be a superior nostalgic experience. My fave. So much love for living with the land.
Yeah.
Just so much love for all of those random rides like Figment, Caballeros. And I think that just goes to show that so many of you guys that are listening or watching this podcast have a love for Disney like we do, where it's just like, it doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't matter that the ride's not good. It's great.
It's great, okay? And you can't explain it to someone that doesn't get it. You guys just get it.
These are some fighting words for you here. Nadia Ravindra said, hate to say it, but Figment is just too much. My boyfriend refuses to ride it.
Too much what? Imagination for you?
He's a lot. He's a lot.
He is like kind of an annoying. It's funny. I remember before Figment was like cool, people were just fully annoyed with him. Like the things I remember reading when I was like, I think I kind of like Figment. Like I like him. And I'm sure there are still people that are incredibly annoyed with Figment because
well,
F-I-G-M-E-N-T.
at least one.
You can see things differently.
Kenner D 1678 said, Guardians, 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 Guardians. Yep, that'll do it.
Honestly.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Meredith Gets Crafty said, architecture. I love that. Just the architecture. No rides. Yeah. Don't need them.
I'm just going to walk around.
Top 5 rides, architecture.
I remember one of the first blog posts you ever wrote like 100,000 years ago for like another site was all about the lighting in Epcot at night.
Yeah.
And just how much, and it was so cute because we recently saw it. And the pictures we had were like not great because it was hard, especially back then, to get a decent picture at night of the lighting. But just how romantic almost, especially World Showcase, is at night.
Yeah. That's one thing I feel like so many people miss when they travel. That and you don't have to know a lot about architecture to appreciate architecture. Everyone always wants to talk about the food, and I love food too, but there's so much more when you travel. And one of the biggest things I think people miss out on is history and architecture. Like those are some of the biggest things that you can learn from and take away when you travel. And obviously every travel show is all about food. I mean, Phil Rosenthal, Bourdain, everyone always wants to talk about the food. But there's so much more, and I just love architecture so much. That's all. I'll shut up.
No, I love it. A little bit, Mo said, now please don't ask us for the other parks. I fear it may be impossible.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like Epcot was one of the easier ones, although I think Animal Kingdom would be a little easy. We might have to make that one spicy and be like, pick 3.
Ooh, that would, yeah.
Don't you think? Because I'm like, that one, I'm trying to think through the rides at Animal Kingdom. That would be actually kind of hard to do top 3.
We almost did top 3 for this one. That would have been.
I don't think I could have done that. If we had only done top 3, what would have been my top 3, I guess? Hold on. Now I'm curious. Why can't I remember? I would have just done Frozen, Soarin', and Guardians. Gosh. I don't know that I could have left out Spaceship Earth.
I know. I think 5 is...
5 was good for this, but yeah, we might have to make AK a little spicy. Magic Kingdom, I don't... Anyway.
Yeah, there's 75 rides there?
Okay, so as usual, we will read a review that one of you guys left for us. We know you can review us on Apple Podcasts. It really does help us. We recently discovered that if you type Disney into Apple Podcasts, you cannot find us.
I don't know what
anywhere.
We don't exist.
We figure, okay, we're a newer podcast, whatever. We're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Y'all, we got to the end of the list. I swear to you, we are not on there. And we're like, we have checked. We have done everything we can. All the tags in the back. Like,
if you just go to Google and type Disney podcast, they'll list 75 of them. We are not on there. I'm like, I don't know what we're doing wrong, but people cannot find us.
So, your reviews, I think, do help.
Yeah. I need you to go to all the message boards because because that was one thing is there's a bunch of different boards that I was like, what are the best Disney podcasts?
And everyone's responding. But a lot of these were from acute. We didn't even exist a couple of years ago.
I did Control F on all of them, and there's no Disneyville anywhere. So either we're terrible, which is very plausible.
It's likely
we're for a select few people. Or I'm like, I don't know what we're doing wrong. That's
Yeah.
what. So I don't know if you noticed at the very beginning, Jessica said, where we talk about Disney parks, Disney cruise line, because we were looking it up and they were like, if you say what your subject
What you're
is
about.
more at the beginning.
I don't know, you guys.
But I'm like,
we're just throwing things to the wall, seeing what sticks.
Exactly.
So anyway, okay.
Oh my goodness.
So your reviews, really, we read through them, we love them, and they mean a lot to us. It's one of our only sources of feedback.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so this is okay. I love everything about this. This is from a user named Please Stand Clear of the Doors.
Oh, so good.
Por favor. Okay. The second most magical place on earth. Love that. If you can't actually be in Disney, this is your next best bet. The vibes, the laughter, and the extensive knowledge. Well, okay. Transport you to a happy place and make you feel like you're hanging out on Main Street with two close friends. Oh my gosh. Even if you don't have a trip planned, you'll love it as a feel-good comfort and nostalgia show. No notes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you so much.
That is such a great review.
We just appreciate you guys. We've been on Cloud 9 since the merch launch because it just feels, I think for us, like we're filming in a room and talking into microphones and we're not seeing you guys who we're talking to, who's listening. We don't see you in your cars. We don't see, and so sometimes it can kind of feel like, we're enjoying this. We like doing what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to see that, like, the fact that you guys will take the time to leave a review or write a comment or like the video, whatever, or share about it on a forum. I don't know. It means so much to us because it makes us feel like, okay, we're not crazy. Like some of you guys actually are listening and enjoying it.
Well, and like we said, we talked about, we just love doing this so much. Like this is the only thing we do like Vlogmas together, but like most of what we do, even though we do kind of the same thing, is our own businesses. Like you have your own business, I have my own business.
Yeah.
Like this is what we do together, and it's so fun. Like this is our
third child.
But like I said, we just love doing it. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna keep doing it either way because we just love it. But
Yeah.
it
So
means
thank
a
you
lot
guys,
when you guys
for
take
your
the time
support.
to tell us that you guys also enjoy it.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. I think we should sign off.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say.
Me either.
Think it
Hey,
through.
as always, let us know if there are any episode ideas you have that you're dying for us to cover. Let us know. Our list
Okay.
is long, but
So-
we are constantly moving things around.
So I need you to comment below with the episode ideas, merch ideas, and ideas for who should do the voiceover for Spaceship Earth next. I
think Morgan Freeman was a really great,
Yeah.
you know.
So yeah, those give us some of your ideas below. I'll be very curious.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I think that's it. All right, we'll see you guys in the next one.
love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.